I get the feeling that a lot of you guys follow me because of my stories about my ex-husband, and now that we're divorced, I would imagine that you guys want to hear about my dating life. But the real kicker is that deep down, I'm still in love with him. Never got over him. And yeah, we're horrible for each other, but I'm in love with a version of him that never existed, that doesn't exist. And so I just sit here and like die on the inside every day. And that's how my dating life is going.
Welcome to another
Man, the woman in the first clip there just absolutely has the alpha seed need, if you know what I'm talking about. She met her pair bond and now she's absolutely stuck with him, especially if she's feeling this way after they got a divorce. Like, you got some healing to do, lady, and I don't think anybody else that chooses to date you is going to have, have it in for them. You're probably going to have a very unsuccessful dating life is what I'm trying to say. Apologies, it's been a long day, guys, but I got one more for you, and this one is dating after divorce. Let's pull it up. Let's go.
edition of Disaster Dates by the Divorcee. Got asked out on a date. I walk to the back of this really swanky, beautiful restaurant, and I see him in this large, extravagant booth, and he just has like bling all over him. He has like a Louis Vuitton diamond bracelet, a gold Rolex watch, and he's wearing like a three-piece suit, which I'm like, wow, he's very fancy. The table was on about a 5-inch platform. He stands up and he's about my height, and then he steps down off of the platform, and my eyes go from like here to like here. So I give him a hug and I'm like, oh, nice to meet you.
Why are you laughing though? Huh? Oh, I know. It's because you have a height standard, which really for someone your age should not be having that kind of standard, but continue.
And height isn't really a big deal for me. I don't really care. As I
Lies.
sit down, he's like, oh wow, you're really nervous. And I'm like, actually, I'm not nervous at all. I feel pretty good. And he's like, oh, I was super nervous, so I had a drink before you got here. I'm like, oh, okay. He orders a second drink, and he's talking to me, and as he's talking, he's like not looking at me. So he's telling me these stories, and then he's constantly like looking off into oblivion, and I'm like, hey dude, I'm over here. Are you gonna look at me? So I'm like, oh God. So mind you, we haven't ordered or even looked at a menu at this point. And he is like 1.5 martinis in. And because he's basically 5'5", that's going like straight to his little man head. And he all of a sudden comes in and he's like, and I turn my head. I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? And he starts like sloppily kissing my cheek. And he's like, oh my God, you're just so cute. How did you get to be so cute? You're just so cute. And I'm like, oh my God. Mind you, I've been in this restaurant for like 10 minutes. Like 10 minutes. This is our first date. And
Yeah, if this story is true, this is really cringy male behavior. I was about to say, our short king here is having a bit of a problem with the ladies, but I don't know. I don't want to believe this one. She's probably coming up with a lot of dating stories to cover the fact that she's having a horrible time dating, but let's get through it.
then as he keeps talking and looking off into oblivion, then he'll stop talking and then start making out with my cheek again. And after about the third time, he's like starts like moving over to my mouth. And I'm like, no, dude. I'm like, we are not doing this. Finally order some food. And the food comes and he starts to sober up. And as he's sobering up, he's becoming less like giggly and more like serious. And as I start talking, he's like, gets like this mad face and he's like looking off into space while I'm talking. He's like this. And then he says, you don't like dogs, do you? And I'm like, well, I'm kind of picky about the dogs that I like because, you know, dogs just like to eat my underwear and sniff my crotch and pee all over my house. And I'm not really into that. And he's like, well, my dogs are well trained. And I sent you a picture of my dogs one time and you didn't say how cute they were. I'm thinking I got to get out of here like sooner than later. And so I tell him it's getting really late and I'm ready to go. And so he walks me out, just hightailed it the hell out of there. So I'm not dating anymore. I'm going to join a convent and Jesus Lord will be my boyfriend.
The number of
Yeah. Again, if this were a true story, there's so many red flags there on the date. Like, don't reach all the way around for a kiss. It's clear, you know, you stare each other in the eyes, you both bring your faces closer to each other, and then it just happens. You gotta understand signals like that. The guy talking way too much about his personal life. You, especially on a first date, want to get to know as much about them as possible. Let them do the talking, try to bring up some interesting conversation points there. And obviously don't bring them to a restaurant and don't wear bling. Like, they're gonna think something. Anyways, what's this next one?
times, which is all the time, that I have pursued a man. Flirting is fine, it's great, but like really flirting and being really aggressive and initiating the phone calls and initiating the texts and initiating and creating the dates, I was always setting the precedence that said, I lead, I'm in control. And this past weekend, I had dinner with my ex.
Yeah, no man wants somebody with masculine traits ruling over their relationship. Like, the dynamic just does not work. I wish women would get this through their heads.
Husband and my daughter, and I found myself leading again. You know, like when the waiter came over, I was the first one to jump in and order. And when I heard myself do that, I stopped. I totally forgot what I was saying because a coworker's coming in and I don't need them seeing TikTok is a secret thing. Anywho.
Well, you're making a stupid move putting on a PBS jacket, like an American television station. Use your head, lady. Come on. And for that matter, yeah, when the waiter comes to the table, tell them what you want. I don't get it.
And he let me, right? So he knows how I am. And then when I had this realization, I was like, just sit back. Let him take control of this. And I did. I sat back and he took control of it. It's really hard to let go of old habits. And it's an old habit for me to not want to lead and go after what I want immediately. So there's always little moments that are reminders of who I was, who I'll always be. There's pieces of me that aren't going to go away and things that I need to work on and change. It's a constant learning process.
Okay, and what are you doing about it? Like, okay, good step, letting him lead in the, in the date. Good for you. There we go, making progress, I guess. Oh man, what's this next one gonna be about?
So I went on my first date last night. I have not dated in a very long time. I am in the process of getting divorced from my high school sweetheart. So we had been together for 20 years. So the dating world is super new to me. And I was so nervous. So incredibly nervous. I almost backed out. My friends kept me in it. They said, just do it. Just get it done. Just, if anything, you're just getting your first one out of the way. Okay, so I show up to the bar that we decided to meet at, and he shows up a little bit late, which fine. But then he proceeds to tell me that he showed up late because he needed to stop somewhere and get something to eat. But also he did not wake up until 1 p.m. in the afternoon, and only because somebody called and woke him up. Didn't do anything, he said, all day, except for show up late to our date. So then this bar that we went to, they had karaoke going. It was
Sounds like a man who's either going through a tough time in life or just doesn't have enough direction. But let's see what else is in here. Hopefully something interesting.
kind of fun watching people do it, but it stopped being fun when he was critiquing the people doing karaoke and yelling kind of obscenities when they finished, like telling them that was awful and this isn't a karaoke song. So that was a little embarrassing. Definitely made it awkward. And then after that, he decided to make it even more awkward and tell me that he forgot my name. He feels bad. He should know my name.
Oh, dude, don't do that.
But he can't remember my name. Didn't do anything all day. But he doesn't remember my name. It was a very simple task. Maybe he shouldn't have told me that. I don't know.
Nope.
And then he started getting handsy, trying to hold my hand, moving my hair out of my face. Just met him an hour and a half before that. So I'm hoping that my next dates go better than that. But I'll keep you updated.
Yeah, dude just wanted to go down to Pound Town, let's be real. Forgetting the name of your date. Just come on, this stuff writes itself. Either way, not 100% sure if this woman's being truthful or not, but the dating market is crappy for everybody in their 30s. I'm not gonna continue there. Really not a hell of a lot that we could glean from this this compilation, but I appreciate you watching. Thank you for watching. I'll have some new videos for you as soon as possible. Till then, though, have yourself a great day. Always do your due diligence. Bye for now.